Hello, my name is Nick Ortell. I'm talking to my buddy Zach Hurd. He's a junior in high school. I'm going to teach him what the cognitive bias is. Have you ever heard of cognitive bias?
I've never heard of cognitive bias, no.
Okay, cognitive bias is the negative feeling you receive when you spend your own money on something. It's that feeling you receive. So I'm going to talk about 3 theories that help build your knowledge of what cognitive bias is. The first theory I'm going to talk about is the loss aversion theory. The second I'm going to talk about is the paradox of choice theory. And the last one is the sunk cost fallacy. Do you know what the loss aversion theory is?
I do not know what the loss aversion theory is.
Okay, the loss aversion theory is the simple fact that one loss hurts twice as bad as one win. So did you play sports in high school?
I actually did, yeah. I played football.
Okay, awesome. Well, you can relate to the loss aversion theory very well. So throughout that year, your team went undefeated, and you've got all those wins, and now it's time for the state championship, and you get to that state championship and you lose that game. That one loss at the state championship is going to affect your life so much more than the path it took for you to get to that state championship. And that's what the loss aversion theory is. So the next theory is the paradox of choice theory. Have you ever heard of the paradox of choice theory?
I have no clue what that is.
Okay, the paradox of choice theory is the overwhelming effect or feeling you receive whenever there are too many options. Too many options in what you're purchasing, too many options to where you can't make a decision on what you are wanting to purchase. So for example, have you ever gone to a shoe store knowing exactly what type of shoe you want?
Yeah.
So whenever you get to that store, you see the 12 different colorways and 12 different options you have on that one shoe, and you cannot make the decision on what shoe you want, so you have to get a second opinion. Has that ever happened to you?
That has happened to me a lot, yeah.
So you were exposed to the paradox of choice theory.
Really?
You couldn't make that decision. That's what it is. And the last one, the one that affects me the most, the one that I think about the most, is the sunk cost fallacy. Do you know what the sunk cost fallacy is?
I know what a sunk cost is, but I do not know what the sunk cost fallacy is.
So the sunk cost fallacy is similar to sunk cost. The sunk cost fallacy is the feeling versus the physical. The feeling you receive when something is non-refundable. So let's say for example, you go to the movies and you spend $15 on your ticket, and then the time that you spend at the movies and getting to the movies, all of these play into factors of the sunk cost fallacy. So you're watching this movie, it's halfway through, and you realize this movie is horrible and that you just wasted $15 on the ticket and the time that it took you to get there and to watch that movie. It's all sunk cost. It's non-refundable and it will never come back. That is the sunk cost fallacy. The ability to accept the sunk cost, the cost as well as the time. That is sunk cost fallacy. So these are just some examples to help you understand what cognitive bias is. Cognitive bias is the feeling you receive, the negative feeling you receive whenever you spend your money on something. Do you understand now a little bit more about the cognitive bias?
Yes, I feel a lot more informed about the cognitive bias theory.
Thank you. I hope that everyone else has learned something, and have a good night.